Okay. 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 You're bored with it too, are you? This is Spike. Oh, you little. That's my little pal right there. He's always right here by my side, either on this side or that side, every time I'm doing a show. When I'm on the radio, he's always in studio with me. He's been such a great little partner, such a great little companion. If you don't have a dog, you're missing out. You're missing out. And don't make it stay outside. Let it be part of the pack, for heaven's sake. You're the alpha. They're looking to you. They want to trust you. They want to have complete trust in you. Don't blow it. Don't make them. You stay out there. That's your world. I'm in here. They're very social animals. They're part of a pack. You got to be part of their. You got to let them be part of your pack, and you got to be ruling that pack, or they'll railroad all over you. Anybody who has the German breeds, especially German Shepherds, Dachshunds, very stubborn. Dalmatians are so stubborn. I don't think that's a German breed per se, but you got to be the alpha. And if you're going to get a dog just because it's currently unique, timely, and trendy, do a little research before you. Oh, I want a French bulldog. They're so cute, and everybody else has a French bulldog. Paying $10,000 for a dad-blamed dog when you got dogs screaming for a forever home at the shelter. But you got to have a designer dog. You got to have a hybrid. You got to have a purebred, because you're all that. Let me tell you right now, you're blowing it. A lot of these purebreds have health problems, inherent health problems, because these crappy breeders have done everything they can to get that perfect look or that perfect temperament or perfect whatever. And like everything that men touch, if it's God's creation, we're going to ruin it. I didn't mean this show to turn into a whole dog thing, but I'm a dog guy, so there you go. That's how it went. Arthur Schaper is on my show today here on Do Not Talk. I'm glad you're here, and if you haven't seen Arthur on the show before, you're going to be glad you're here too. I hope you'll stick around. He's an author. He's a writer. He's a prognosticator. Not really. He's a smart dude who's fearless. And he works for the group that I've really come to respect and admire called Mass Resistance. Massresistance.org. Massresistance.org. Look them up. My president, Trump, has a long history of being philanthropic and doesn't talk about it. He'll brag incessantly about sometimes the most ridiculous things. Yeah, it was the largest crowd ever. It's never been bigger than this. The history of the world has never been greater or bigger than this. But the things he does behind the scenes and the way he helps people and people groups and people who are not in his people group. One of the reasons why so many people just despise rich people is rich people couldn't care less about you, about me. He does. And he's got a long history of doing things like this.
This is the 1995 story the mainstream networks don't want on your feed today. It was the 50th anniversary of the end of World War II. The greatest generation was ready for one last march through the streets of New York City, but the city had failed them. The Veterans Day parade was broke. It was officially canceled. These heroes were told there was no money left for their honor. But then, a 49-year-old businessman stepped out of the shadows. He didn't just post a message. He wrote a personal check for $200,000 and didn't stop there. He called every wealthy friend he had and raised another $300,000 in just days. $500,000 just to ensure those heroes got their parade. This was 30 years ago, long before the campaigns, long before the politics. So ask yourself, why is this specific moment being erased from the history books today?
Why is nobody talking about this?
The media never will. But I'm no longer part of the media. I'm part of the alternative media now. I'll talk about it all day long. He's doing things that so much of us, we believe in. So much of it is just common sense. And I want him to be successful. I want the things that he's doing to succeed. Something as simple as daylight savings time. It was Jimmy Carter who imposed that again on the nation. Nobody ever talks about that. I remember I was just a kid, 1978, right around then. It was all to save energy because we had an energy crisis, one that he really helped make worse. Daylight savings time. What a complete waste of time, money, resources, and lives. When the time changes twice a year, accidents go up, kids get hurt, traffic accidents go up, people lose sleep. It's just stupid. There's no reason for it. And here in California, I don't remember when now, but it was on the ballot to just keep daylight savings time, which is the later hours, more sunshine, year round, like they have in Arizona, like they have in Hawaii, other states. We wanted to do the same thing, and we the people stepped up. We the people overwhelmingly said, yeah, we want that. We the people never saw it put into place. And I've asked the elected representative, I asked them this question, Kevin Kiley, Tom McClintock. I always go to them because they're in my district. Those are my guys. I've asked them, how come that was never implemented? We overwhelmingly said, yes, we don't want any time changes anymore. This is ridiculous. Their response has always been disappointing to me. Oh, I don't know. We voted for that. What do you mean you don't know? Here's a suggestion. Find out. And please get back to me so I can let others know. Here's why that was never put into place. Our wishes were never put into place. It's just one small little example. And the attitude is basically, oh, Charlie, there's so many other big things to worry about. Yeah, you're right. So let's concentrate on the small things first and actually figuring out why it didn't work and why it was not implemented. How come we were not able to do what other states were able to do? Why? Then we can worry about some of the bigger things. In the meantime, all of you who are saying, I don't know, get out. I want you gone. I don't care if you're a Republican. I want you out now. I don't care what you've done in the past. You don't care enough about something that we voted for to actually, first of all, follow through, make it happen, champion that cause, or get out. I'm so over them. I'm so over them. We have a chance this coming November, midterm election. I hope you'll get involved. Let's start by getting you registered to vote. Register to vote.ca.gov. Third of the population of California claims to be Christian. Only 40% of them are even registered to vote. That's stupid. Register to vote.ca.gov. Register to vote.ca.gov. Let's start there. Arthur Schaper, he writes for a lot of different publications online and so on, and he's always a valued guest here on the show, and he's back on Do Not Talk. Are you ready? Hit it!
Get that punch in.
I know. I love that. I love that. How have you been? Oh, thank you for the reminder. I forgot to ask you all to buy one of my mugs or a hat. I got hats. I got shirts. I got all kinds of stuff at my website there. Trump was right about everything. You know, you want that hat.
And maybe they can buy something for Spike as well. And I also
something for Spike as well.
I wanted to make, 250th very happy, so I got some of these at Hobby Lobby just before Independence Day too. So it's just perfect. Because if we don't talk about politics and religion, we're not going to have another 250 years of our country. We've got to talk about these things.
I completely agree. I think part of the whole dumbing down and shutting us up was the whole pushing that narrative. Oh, it's too divisive. Don't talk about politics and religion. Sorry, you're wrong. And now the silent majority has finally found its voice.
That's it. Got to speak
Finally.
up. And speaking of, there's such a broad majority when it comes to fixing this daylight savings time problem. This is something I had written about last week. I mean, I'm just so tired of it. Just choose something already. That's literally what I called it. Just pick a time already. Nobody's going to be 100% happy. You're going to have some sections of the country that are going to lament the sun setting a little earlier in summer, or the sun is going to rise a little bit or a lot. It's going to be like 9 a.m. when it's light in the winter. But a normal system is what is needed. There's going to be some give and take, and we need to restore that. The biggest thing with the whole time zone, or the standard times, daylight savings times change, is the health problems.
Yes.
Every time there's a change, you have a rise in heart attacks, the rise in car accidents, all this other stuff. Let's get something consistent. Let's get rid of a complication. And it has such widespread support. Right now, it's Tom Cotton who has put a block on it. I hope that President Trump leans on him. He's upset because that means you're going to have some areas of Arkansas, or Texas and some Great Plains states. The sun is going to be rising a little bit later in the winter, but nobody's going to be happy with it. Let's just get this done. I don't see a reason why we should keep putting up with this. And you're right. I mean, like Californians in 2018, it was like 60-40. We said, change it, right. Let it go. Right. You can fix this. Let's do it. So it's
but
just
yet none of our elected representatives even seem to care that it was never implemented.
Because everything's predicated on the federal government, according to the ballot. Of course, that's a cop out. They could have just done something anyway. And it's
how was weird. Arizona able to do it?
There you go.
How was Hawaii able to do it?
They got it done. Good for them. And we need to have more states. Just that might be the way to do it. A nice little federalism revolt. Just more states we're going to stick to one time.
2018, we said yes, we want this.
There you go. Just fix it one time. No more changes. We can get used to it. We'll figure out a way. The sun might set a little later. Because that's the other side of it. The sun rises a little later, but it sets a little later. For Texas, Arkansas, South Dakota. So there's always, everybody will have to adjust, but at least it will be consistent. Everybody can get.
Oh, you froze up.
It's wrong that the federal government stepped in and micromanaged this because it created it. That people talk about, well, you're being divisive. It's the federal government that stepped in and intervened in this time feature. There's where your division comes from. It's the government stepping in, picking winners and losers, and deciding when things should be happening, regardless of the sentiments of people on the ground. This is the problem. So just solve it and just choose a date already. I hope someone gives leans on Tom Cotton. Let it go. Just get it done.
And I like him. Yeah. He seems to be a real common sense guy for the most part. I like him.
Yeah, for the most part. He's just, sometimes he wants to be difficult because he can. I think senators have that opportunity. They can just gum stuff up if they want to make a point or if they want to start something. Maybe he's trying to negotiate for another deal or to send in more money to Arkansas. I don't care. Just get it done and let's pass this. It would be such a monumental change, and it would be another feather in Donald Trump's cap. He's actually accomplished stuff that's been sitting on the back burner for decades. So he deserves this opportunity to sign off on it. So simple.
Amen. Well, let's while we're talking about President Trump and such a simple issue as not changing the time twice a year, let's talk about more complex things. Something that's been brewing and boiling over for 47 years.
Yes.
And somebody finally said, that's it. I'm not starting a war. I'm ending it. The war has already been going on. Finally ending it. We have expressed frustration, you and I both, about please go in there and just get it done.
Yes.
But I don't know if we fully understand the art of war like President Trump does, or the art of the deal.
Yes.
I'm starting
I am going to give him, look, far fewer lives have been lost. We don't see American boots on the ground. We actually rescued American troops who had crashed within Iran's borders. I see a really thorough and resolute commander-in-chief who is ensuring as much of a limited but effective strike as possible. He has to balance delicately the election pressures. We've got to hold the House. We're going to hold the Senate, please. That's a bunch of empty nonsense. We'll hold on to the Senate, no problem. But it's the House. We don't want to lose that. We want to make sure that this agenda keeps moving forward. President Trump can get as much done, and we'll have better Republicans because all the rhinos are going to get swept out. They're all going to be gone in the House. You'll have a new crop of people who are ready to play ball, no drama, just get the job done. I am glad he's doing this. This is
You think
not
so? Wait, hang on a second. Don't gloss over
Iran.
that. Do you really believe that?
Believe what? I said
The
a couple
House
of
and the
things.
Senate, that we're going to get we're going to get an actual solid majority in there at the midterm
I think
election.
so. I do. And this is why I'm basing it on data this time. We all want to be, we all have our, we're all partisan spirits. We want our team to win. I wanted America to win the World Cup. They didn't. I wanted Argentina to win the World Cup. They didn't. But when it comes to politics, we can have a say in it. And I know I'm going to be invested in key congressional races wherever I can. Wisconsin 3. I want to help out in Pennsylvania. I want to help Jim Desmond in San Diego. I haven't forgotten about California. I like Kevin Kiley. I know he's an independent, and he's become a little more liberal, so he can compete against Richard Pan, creepy, you must take the vaccine, and Big Pharma gives me money. Pan, he's evil. We don't want him to win. I like Kevin. I voted for Kevin Kiley in the recall.
I have too. Every time I've voted for Kevin Kiley. Well, actually, in the recall, no, that was Larry Elder.
You voted for Larry?
Yeah, Larry was. I think he would have been extraordinary. I'm sorry he didn't try again. I wish he would have. But he's doing invaluable work where he is. Salem Media Group.
Kevin is
syndicated talk show host.
Kevin's not perfect. He's part of the Main Street. People get upset about that, but he's made a really good program of focusing on really effective, meaningful, but bread and butter issues. And I appreciate that. He has repeatedly exposed and shut down Gavin Newsom's corruption. He helped kill the EV mandate that would have taken away our gas-powered cars by 2035.
Yes.
The legislature wants to raise our insurance costs, but they need the federal government's permission. Kiley is spearheading that to stop it. He has done a lot of great things for us, and people have got to get over it and give him a little grace. I know he voted for the TPS thing once. I mean, this is all theater. You have to play along just a little bit so that he doesn't look like some, right-wing radical running against Richard Pan in a district that's gotten a lot bluer right now. I really commend him that he didn't quit, that he has continued to fight. True,
and that was the whole gerrymandering thing that Governor Hairdo put into place and made happen in a special election, and we stupidly voted yes for it, allegedly at least.
There's a lot of, California is going to have to hurt a lot more, and it'll be sad if we lose Kiley. And Kiley's also been he's been a decent supporter for Trump's work against Iran. I mean, this is a key thing. 47 years, they've been at war with us. People have neglected how many Americans have been killed by the Iranian Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the Ayatollahs, all of their proxies, whether it's Hezbollah, the Houthis, Hamas, they're all propped up by Iran. Iran is the octopus with its tentacles all over the Middle East and behind all of the terrorism, much of the terrorism, rather.
Because they've had all the money. They've had so much money to make that happen and to buy influence and power.
Yes.
And to supply oil for countries that hate everything that we stand for, including China.
Yes. China. President Trump, I know some people are frustrated with how he's trying to, he said, he gives them a break, he opens up the strait, and then they renege on it, so then he shuts it down again. What else is to be done? This is why nobody wanted to deal with this, but it does need to be dealt with. He has created an unprecedented coalition of Arab countries with the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. I mean, there's looking like there's going to be some Abraham Accords really soon here, which is really exciting. And I hope that Trump and team, they can figure out a way to explain to the Arab countries, all this talk about a Palestinian state is not in your best interest. Let it go. It's not worth it. They're going to try to blow you up if they ever succeed in getting rid of Israel. This is about what's good for the rest of the region. And the Strait of Hormuz being open and closed, it's put your left foot in, put your left foot out. This is what's happening now is other routes are now being developed. The UAE is creating a pipeline. Saudi Arabia, they're creating other conduits to ship oil to the world without having to deal with the Strait of Hormuz. This is actually a smart move in the long term. We don't want Iran to have that kind of check and balance on global trade. Take it away from them. Make the Strait of Hormuz irrelevant. That's the way to go. And this helps us with dealing with China because, Iran is propping up China, propping up Russia. This will cut off the supply lines for Russia's war against Ukraine. All of this will work in the end. And damn it, Americans have got to stop. Okay, look, the gas prices are high. But you know what? This is a small price to pay so that we can have greater peace. We are the number one exporter of energy now. We have eclipsed the Middle East and the OPEC cartel. That's diminishing as we speak. It is strengthening America's standing in the world. And so Trump is trying to balance all of these issues. It's tough, but it had to be done. And you know what? He doesn't have to worry about the political capital as much. This is his second term. This is it. He's not worried about a reelection bid. And
Right.
And going back to the question you had asked me, like, are we going to hold the House? I mean, his aggressive work redistricting so that we have more safe Republican seats. This is a big deal. We have a majority of safe seats going into November compared to the Democrats. It was never that way in previous off-year elections when there was a Republican president. So we're already sitting really well. There was one projection said we have 215 safe seats, so we only have to win 3. Another one says we have 210 safe seats, so we only need 8. Although, of course, we want to have like 2 more. We don't want to be right on the edge with 218 as the bare majority. The reason why is one bad Republican says, I don't like you anymore. I'm going to become independent.
Right.
And switch over to the Dems. We don't want that. So we want to make sure there's that little buffer of 2 more seats and we're able to have a stable majority. And, Mike Johnson's it's a heartache for him. It's a lot of work trying to balance and play off all of the different factions within the conference. But this is what the framers intended. It was never supposed to be an easy ride. There would always be the checks and balances, even when it comes to something as simple as setting daylight savings or standard time. This is what the framers
intended. Do you think Kevin McCarthy would have been able to accomplish or even tried to accomplish what Mike Johnson has accomplished in the House?
No, not at all. Because Kevin McCarthy was.
I think he's been a blessing. He's been a godsend.
He's great.
And there's so many people can't stand him, and I don't get it.
They have issues. People are not understanding the art of the possible, and they need to MAGA. No matter what, you've got MAGA or America First or Tea Party, it's always going to be the art of the possible. And Mike Johnson has found better ways of achieving that. Kevin McCarthy was a routine liar and
just fundraiser. That's all he did. That was his mastery of raising money.
Mace voted to vacate the chair. That's it. Yeah. He was a great fundraiser, but for what? What's the principle behind it? What's the outcome? He just didn't get the job done. And no matter for what, Matt Gaetz, we know, was showboating. He was he was jealous. He was an arrogant troll, whatever. But even that worked to our purposes. McCarthy just wasn't.
I love Matt Gaetz. I miss Matt Gaetz.
Okay, all right.
I know you don't like him. I love him. I thought he was fantastic.
He's pretty good. He's really gone off the deep end now that he's a newscaster. So let me put it that way. But in Congress, his boldness, his drawing out the election was excellent. That's what was needed. And we need more congressmen like that who are bold, outspoken in those ruby red districts.
What I've been saying all along, I don't want any more get along to get along. I don't want it. All you have to do, make sure I don't support you as a candidate here in California. Tell me you're going to try and reach across the aisle. Oh, I'm done. I'm done with you right there. Thank you so much for letting me know who you are. I'm not interested in you. I want some Jim Jordans. I want some Ted Cruzes. That's what I want. That's what I want here in California. And Kevin Kiley right now is the only one. Carl DeMaio in the assembly, maybe he's been strong.
And you know how I feel about certain choices he makes. I'm not going to waste.
I understand. Personally, I don't like him.
I do agree with you. I am grateful for someone who's aggressive, outspoken, and is committed to a policy vision. And he's the only one who does it. And it's very frustrating. Everybody else just kind of goes with the flow. Awesome. Republicans just get their per diem and hope they don't get kicked off a committee or put in the doghouse in Sacramento. And I think that's really disappointing. Really disappointing.
I do too. Speaking of really disappointing, let's talk about Minnesota. Tim Walz has been so shamed and so exposed with all the fraud in that state, whether he knew about it or not, doesn't matter. It's under his tutelage, isn't it? And the buck stops here, right, Timmy? The tampon stops here, right, Timmy? And so he announced he's not even going to run for re-election. And along comes Mike Lindell. Now, I've been a fan of Mike's from the beginning. The company that he's built, I'm a fan of his product, even though
Sure.
I'm an affiliate of his. And you want to go to mypillow.com/LEE, my middle name, you'll get a nice little discount by buying products using my middle name as a promo code, mypillow.com/LEE. I have his sheets, I have pillows. What else do I have? I've got several My Pillow products that I bought before I paid for them out of my pocket before I ever became an affiliate. I like Mike. I've met him. I've had him on the show. I love his passion. I love the way he went after election fraud and has paid the price dearly for it. But now he's running for governor and he seems to be completely imploding. He was in the lead. He was doing well. He had a lot of traction. Governor of Minnesota, made sense for Mike Lindell. And then he makes this whole announcement about basically amnesty for illegals.
You know, I'm going to give a contrarian view. I love everything you said. I think Mike Lindell is an excellent businessman. He's an outstanding Christian. He's an evangelist. He has a great testimony. The guy was so hopped up on cocaine, his drug dealers wouldn't sell him drugs because he hadn't slept in a week. They were more worried about his welfare. They were the ones selling him the drugs and they wouldn't sell to him. He's joked about this. I called the My Pillow company. I spoke to one of the employees and she was like, this guy is awesome. He has such a great testimony. He's a great guy. And, you know, so this is going to maybe really upset people, but he can be a great guy, a great businessman, a great activist, a great fighter. But that doesn't make him a good candidate. This is something
Good point. Yeah.
This is a lesson that a lot of people got. I still remember Doug Mastriano. He was an outspoken state senator in Pennsylvania, and he was running for the open gubernatorial seat in 22. I made phone calls for him. Okay, so this is personal. And the guy crashed and burned. I mean, he got stomped on because this guy all he wanted to do was talk MAGA. He wanted to talk about cultural issues that weren't resonating with Pennsylvania voters. It's still a swing state. There wasn't an attuned, on the ground, what do the people of Pennsylvania want, need, and care about? And I was stunned. I was making phone calls and I would get people saying, I'm not voting for this guy. He's crazy. I'm not voting for this guy. He's nuts. I'm not voting for this guy, X, Y, and Z. It was like the guy, he like turned off and scared off voters, whether it was true or false. He wasn't, he had a Gab account and everybody got upset about that. I don't think that's legit, but there were other things he would spout off. He was always talking about QAnon. Either people don't know and care, or they think it's wacky to be connected with that nonsense. It just did not help. You've got to be a substantive, competent candidate, and then you can give us the frosting. Mike Lindell is one of those outspoken people, and he's going to be very polarizing. Minnesota is on the margin. They could win this. I mean, Republicans have actually repealed some of the worst stuff. Lisa DeMute, she's the Speaker of the House in Minnesota. It is a 66-60. I'm not joking. 67-67. It is an even House in Minnesota, but the Republicans showed up and the Democrats, they boycotted the session last year because one of the Democrats fudged their address and they were disqualified. So Republicans had a majority for like 3 months. Right? So they're able to set up all the leadership positions. They showed up to work. The Democrats didn't. So the Republicans have run the House, even though it's a 50-50 House. And this woman, she was able to force through a budget which repealed all the Medicare handouts to the illegals in Minnesota. She got it done. Democrats were forced to swallow it in order to pass that budget. A Republican got this done in Minnesota. Can you imagine if a Republican in Sacramento was able to push a budget that ended all the welfare to illegals? Can you imagine what a great day that would be? But they got it done. Lisa, she's running for governor. She's the one that I support. Now she's more milquetoast, but then you got Lindell, and he's like outspoken, loud, all this stuff, and he's just MAGA, but you've got independents and even some Dems. You got to win some of those people to win in Minnesota. He's not going to win those votes. I hate to say it, folks, people don't want to hear this, but if he had been the nominee, and we don't know what's going to happen because the primaries in 2 weeks, I think, he's at the top of the ticket. It's just nothing but MAGA, 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 and Democrats would be able to really hammer that. And they'd be able to pull the whole ticket down. I'm sorry, folks, but he just wouldn't compete. Now, I'm in a better place because look at this guy talking about amnesty. I mean, this is obscene. This guy was just flagrantly, he was on CBS St. Paul, the Twin Cities affiliate, and he was just openly having this 30-minute conversation. And he says, well, there's it's just everything that you never want to hear somebody talk about. He was talking about, well, most of the illegals are good people. They're not criminals. They haven't broken the law. Yes, they have. They're in the country illegally. Yes,
Right.
they have broken the law.
Yes,
I can't
right.
believe you're saying this. No, this is not acceptable. And then adding insult to injury, he talks about how he went to California because there's a special crop, Suprema, I think it's called, that he uses to build the pillows. And he talks to the California farmers, and the farmers complain because the farmers that hire the illegals, they pay them dirt cheap under the table, and you can't compete with them. And so Lindell is like, oh, we got to help these poor farmers. Let's help them get their cheap labor. And it's like, no, what you need to be doing is talking about legal programs. We need to be talking about hiring Americans or mechanizing, making it easier to mechanize. I am so sick and tired of, well, we need the cheap labor. No, it's not cheap. There's no such thing as cheap. When you have an illegal who's working a farm the rest of the year, the guy's
it's cheap for them. It's expensive for the rest of us paying
It
the
is.
taxes.
There's no
not even
such
able to
thing as
go
cheap
to the
labor.
emergency room at a hospital because it's polluted with illegals who are going there because they got sniffles going to the ER so they can get their free treatments. This is the education system. Everything is taxing everything, and it's not sustainable. We're crashing, man. Here in California, giving all the illegals free health care. What are you high? Making it to where all the illegals can get registered to vote because the illegals are having legal driver's licenses. It's crazy what's happening in California, and it's all because they're not undocumented workers or undocumented Democrats. They know they're going to vote where the freebies are. They come from socialist countries, many of them. I'm not saying they're all from Mexico. They're not. We know they're not. We saw Chinese people coming in.
Look at
all
Minnesota.
the
They're all
military
from
age
Somalia.
males. Yeah, Somalia, Minnesota. That's right. Good point. Forced on many of these communities. Forced on them.
Yes.
And now they're all paying the price. And Mike Lindell, God bless him. I like him. I want him to do well.
And I think not a
he's
moment.
blown this whole governor thing, running for governor, I think,
go.
right out of the gate.
It's very disappointing. And this
It is.
And
we had a chance.
Trump had endorsed him, and then it's like he needs to wheel this back, or I don't know. I really hope that Lisa DeMood is able to pull it off. A serious candidate on the ground, got stuff done. Please, folks, just because someone wears a MAGA hat, doesn't mean they're committed to the mission. We've got to stop being impressed with. They say the right things and they have the right shows and they took a lot of photos with Trump. It's like, are they actually making America great again? Are they making Minnesota great again? That's the kind of thing you want to be looking for. And I just pray that more voters would become more attuned and sophisticated in this regard. Like they should have voted for Bianco. Okay, I'm going to say that. I got to put that one more in right there.
Let's talk about that. The governor's race. I
look at what's happening. The guy is crashing and burning by 20 points.
Javier Becerra.
Yeah, Becerra's winning. I mean, it's like he's just running away with it. California Post. They've been propping up Steve Hilton from day one, and they had the latest poll, and Becerra was at 60%. 60%. Folks, we told you, it's very disappointing. And it's, part of it we talked about last time, it's Bianco's fault. He didn't go to enough places. He didn't go on your show. Speaking of which, why don't you invite Mike Lindell on your show and make him explain? You should push him on all of this amnesty talk. I wonder, has Mike Lindell, has he met the angel moms? Has he met the angel dads whose children were killed by illegals? Don't tell me about cheap labor. There's no bringing those family members back. Right away, you're gone. But you want to know who did talk about angel moms and dads? It was Chad Bianco. He mentioned them in the debates. Hilton didn't. That is a fact. Anybody can. I was very disappointed. I know a lot of angel moms, and they still supported Hilton. I don't quite get that. I don't begrudge them. I chose not to do it. This is the cards that have been dealt to us. Hilton does have my vote. But it's just, you've got to, I wish that more MAGA people in general were looking at results and not just who's on the media a lot, who's telling great stories.
We go for shiny. Oh, he was on Fox News. So he must be good.
And I had someone just yesterday reminding the public, that Hilton was okay with lockdowns. He advocated for lockdowns on Fox News, advocated for lockdowns and advocated for reparations. So
And he's
Come on,
good
folks.
buddies with Jennifer Newsom.
Yeah,
Had her on his show talking about how great they are, the Newsoms
man.
and the charitable.
And don't
work
forget
they're
the
doing
big hug
with Gavin.
that Hilton gave to Gavin, and that was a fundraiser. That was a fundraiser when Donald Trump was running for president, and he didn't support Donald Trump, I don't think. So there's that. But just to kind of so people don't send me hate mail, I recognize the great work that Mike Lindell has done. I really commend him for the Dominion fight.
Too.
He did not back down. Good for him. Fox News caved, Mike Lindell didn't, and he won because Dominion dropped the lawsuit. Good for you, Mike. I think Mike has a lot more opportunity. He could do so much more, but running for governor, there's more that he could do. In fact,
never forget it was Fox News who actually pulled his advertising during that whole controversy about the election fraud.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Never forget that.
Jeez.
Fox News has been such a huge, tremendous disappointment to me ever since the whole COVID crap, when they put their little death ticker up there in the corner of the COVID deaths and all that. Don't ever forget that. And they made theirs red, so it was even more dramatic than CNN's little death ticker. Don't ever forget they did that. Thank God for Newsmax. Thank God for One America News, although One America News has been pretty much effectively deplatformed. It's not over. It's not done. We still have the media completely on board with everything the left is trying to do, even Fox News. There are some good people on there. Jesse Waters. Oh, my goodness.
Sean Hannity. I like Sean Hannity. He's
Greg
Gutfeld. Yes.
Greg Gutfeld has done such a great job.
And he's actually funny. I think he's actually beating the other late night talk shows in the ratings.
But it's not Rupert Murdoch calling the shots, and it's not what was his name, Ayers, the former guy head of programming who got railroaded during that whole Me Too movement. Those are the people who created Fox News and made
Roger Ailes. You're thinking of Roger Ailes?
Ailes. Thank you, Ailes. Yeah.
He made a simple business decision. Why don't we actually show both sides? That's all. This idea that he was some kind of conservative ideologue, I don't think that's true. But this idea of let's just show both sides, and more people want to watch that. It's pretty simple.
How about that?
Smart business move.
Conservatives will praise Elon Musk for buying Twitter and opening up that platform, but they never say anything about Rupert Murdoch and Roger Ailes and what they did for Fox News. And now it's I don't know who's running it now. Is Murdoch's kids still running it? Is it still even in the family? Because Murdoch's kids are, for the most part, just flaming loudmouth lefties.
It's a very good question. Who's running Fox News?
I don't even know.
I know Paul Ryan's part of the governing board, I think, of Fox News. So, there's going to be some right there. Paul Ryan, the former speaker, Mr. I want cheap labor. Right. I think he's on the Fox News board.
I forgot about that. Oh, my goodness. That's right.
Fox Corporation board. Yeah, he was there March 2019. Oversees the parent company following its split from different assets shortly after retiring from Congress. There you go. Nice little lucrative job. Oh, I can't believe this. I've just never bothered to look at it until now. Tony Abbott, he's okay. He's a Aussie, a former Australian member of Parliament. The rest of them I don't recognize, but when you've got somebody
Murdoch, Rupert has created a great form of Fox News in Australia with Sky News. They're doing extraordinary work. Thank God.
It is good. They're a very welcome alternative. Pushing back on the crazy left wing jargon.
Arthur, where do we find you? How do we get in touch with you and follow what you're doing? And
lots of great ways.
Blogspot.
I always do. Still got that. aschaper1.blogspot.com. I reprint the stuff that's on mass resistance. I also reprint the stuff that's published on other websites once it's had their 24 hours. Massresistance.org. Please visit. Please check us out. We're on the move. We're growing. We want to get more people involved so we can fight all this LGBT craziness. Our biggest subject right now is these gay straight alliance clubs. We are taking them down. We are providing resources to school board members that want to do something and parents that insist on doing something, how you can shut these down and nobody can claim that, well, First Amendment, kids have a right to be learning about gay sex and hooking up in a class club, or a school club during lunchtime. No, they don't.
Crazy.
There are
They're
strictures.
talking about
There are
sex
limits.
with children, including elementary school age children. They're talking about
Oh, yeah.
sex that has no place in schools, in education, period.
Disgusting.
No place. How dare you? But yet they're just openly and blatantly doing it, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's screaming about it. And now, if you feel the way Arthur and I do, he's right. Go to massresistance.org, massresistance.org. You'll find like-minded people. You'll find your people there who are doing God's work out there. Support it. Get involved. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I'll talk to you again real soon.
You bet. Always good to
May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. Hit the like button, please. By the way, I forgot to ask you that. Hit that like button. It helps with the algorithms. The platforms will support this show more and promote it within the different platforms. So if just hitting that like button, such a huge thing. Commenting down below if you could. Appreciate it. 5 words or more, though. Otherwise, they count it as a bot. It's just how it is now. We don't have ratings. We just see how many people are watching at that particular time. So it's not like the ratings system, Nielsen and all those different things, Arbitron, radio Arbitron. So like and share these shows so others can see it too. And thank you for supporting me through my website, charliesimons.com. People giving, people supporting this ministry. Thank you for that. You want to be involved? That's where you do it. This website right here, charliesimons.com. CharlieSimons.com for anybody listening, not watching. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. But most importantly, America, bless God.